In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create an online course website on a budget. Coming up. Hello everyone and welcome. So a few days ago, I got a message from the community saying the course that I'm providing for LearnDash Mastery involves quite a lot of plugins, and that's true. And when you add up all the costs of these plugins, it can become very expensive. So the question was, is it possible for us to host our own online courses on a budget without spending so much money? And the answer to that is yes. But before we go into that, I'd like to remind you that if you buy LearnDash using my affiliate link, you get access to my LearnDash Mastery course. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's talk about how to set up your online course website on a budget. So as I mentioned before, we have a few plugins that I recommend in the course. And the reason why I recommend these plugins is because they pretty much bring everything together, and it's also built for expansion. For example, if we take a look here, we have LearnDash. This is the main platform that holds all our online courses. And this is pretty much a solid structure that we can add all these extra things on top of. So we have LearnDash here. Now I recommend cart flows. Now the reason why I recommend cart flows is because if you have more than one course on your website, you may want to add upsells and downsells onto your website, because this really works well. But it's an additional $299 per year. So again, as I mentioned, this is all about building your website on a budget. So the next plugin that I recommend is MemberPress. Now with MemberPress, it does a very good job of creating recurring payments and also one-time payments, because LearnDash itself, it has the capability of doing that, but it's very minimal in function. This is why I highly recommend MemberPress. Now, on top of that, as well as acting as a payment gateway, it also secures and gives access to your pages, and this works really well with LearnDash as well. Now moving on, there's also another plugin that I recommend. It's also in the £300 range or $300 range per year, and it's WP Fusion. Now WP Fusion is very powerful because what it does is it acts as a I'll say a go-between between LearnDash and your email autoresponder. Now you may be asking, why do you need an email autoresponder? Now the reason why you need that is because you want to have a way of contacting all your students on your website, and having them on a mailing list is the best way to do this. So this could be ConvertKit, it could be MailChimp, it could be MailPoet. I'm just using ConvertKit here as an example. So what WP Fusion does is it works with a tag system. So let's say someone buys a course on your website, they get pushed over to your email autoresponder. In this example, it's ConvertKit. So the student gets pushed over to ConvertKit, and it also updates your website with a tag. And let's say they're on a subscription and they decide to cancel. What happens is when you set your tag as student A cancelled, it also pushes that information back to your website. So basically what it's doing is it's pushing data between your website and your email autoresponder, which is also referred to as a CRM. So this is a very powerful feature because it can work also as a membership plugin, because those tags can be used now to give access to students on your website. So the reason why I recommend this system here is because this system is, if you really want to set this up as a proper online course website as a business. Okay, because we're going to need these emails collected, students. We're also going to need the tagging system to make sure we know what's happening on our website, and this is done automatically, by the way. And cart flows here, we can use this to pretty much use it as an upsell, downsell, and this works with WooCommerce, which means this becomes now our main payment gateway if we don't use MemberPress. So that's the idea behind using all these plugins. Now, we are here because we need to design this on a budget. So I want to switch over here to my website. Now I've gone ahead and disabled all the plugins like ConvertKit, WP Fusion, and so on. So we're going to come over straight to our courses here. So I'm going to come over here to LearnDash, click on courses. So here we have our courses. So I can go into this course here, Mac course. So what I'm going to do is to show you how you can set this up your way without all these additional plugins. So pretty much what I've gone and done here is I've added my description, I've given my course a name, and also a featured image. So now over here on the settings, this is where we can customize our access mode. So over here, we can set the price. So let's say this is $97. We can go ahead and set it up here. You can also add a button URL. Now, if you don't know what any of these things are, you can just click on this question mark, and this will give you more information about what this does. So this takes this course to a specific URL. So that's what pretty much this does. Okay, so I've added my price there as $97. And as you can see, this is a closed course. Right, so I'm just going to hit update. There's also another way of setting this up, and that is over here, you can use the built-in PayPal or Stripe. So this closed option here is, let's say we were using something like, let's say WooCommerce. We can just redirect them to go straight to WooCommerce checkout page over here. But WooCommerce also handled this in a much better way than doing it this way. So I normally just leave it here as open and then use my membership plugin to control the access. All right, over here now, if we use the buy now option, again, we can set our price here, and let me hit update. Right, so now that I've hit update, we are going to need to have PayPal or Stripe installed on this website for this to work. So this now becomes a website which just hosts your course, and people just come and buy, and that's it. There's no upsells, there's no autoresponder, there's no any of those bells and whistles. Okay, so now that I've set it that way, I am going to go back over here to courses, and I need to go back to LearnDash settings, because this is where we need to go in and set all our payment systems. So here we have our PayPal settings. Add in your PayPal email. So you add your PayPal currency. You can add your cancel URL, PayPal return, and we also have this IPN as well. So this can be found in your PayPal dashboard. So this is where you need to get this information from. And the sandbox is when you want to test to see if this is working okay. But as you can see here, we have very minimal options here. And we also need to add a plugin here. So I want to come over here to add-ons. So this is where you would install the Stripe add-on. So let's say you want to collect payments through credit cards and debit cards. This is where you need to add Stripe and activate the plugin. So in order for this to work, you're going to need to have a Stripe account. And then, by the way, this also works if you're also using, let's say, WooCommerce or MemberPress. You've got to have a Stripe account. You've got to have a PayPal account for you to collect the payments. So once you've set up your Stripe and your PayPal, pretty much you're good to go. You come back over here, you add your price. And also, if you want to set this up as a recurring, you can set it up here. And you can also add the cycle here, the billing cycle. So let's say it's 14 days. You can just go in and add 14. And that is set to 14 days. But for the courses, I'll highly recommend that you just use this buy now, hit update, and pretty much your course is good to go. Okay, so back over here on my diagram. Now, yes, that is another option to go ahead and do it that way without all these plugins. But like I said, these plugins do a very good job of setting up your website as a proper functioning business. So this is why you need ConvertKit or any email autoresponder. You may also need WP Fusion to pass the data between your website and your autoresponder. And here you for cart flows, you're going to need to do your upsells and downsells. But you can get rid of this altogether, get rid of WP Fusion, and then only use, let's say, these two. So this can be also a good combination, because ConvertKit becomes your email autoresponder, and MemberPress becomes your plugin that controls access and also the payments. Because as you notice, the payment system we have with LearnDash by default is not as robust. So this could be another minimal way of setting up your website. So here you're going to have the ability to send and receive emails, or in fact pushing out emails to your students And the cases where you may want to do this is, let's say you're running an update or there's a new course. You need to have a way to communicate with your students. And this is where ConvertKit comes in, or any email autoresponder. So this is another way of actually setting this up. So what I want to do in the future as well is to set up these different types of systems, which one could be the very, very bare basic, which I've explained in this video. And then the other one could be the less slightly expensive, which is this one right here. And then I could have the one which has WP Fusion, cut flows, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, that's all I have for you in today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. By doing so, you'll be notified when I release new tutorials. Till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.